Hey everybody, Lorelia here, and welcome to my channel where I discuss finances, funding, and freedom. So that's right, you saw it. I am talking about student loan debt. I am not new to this conversation about credit and loan debt. I have over 300 videos on this channel talking about the particular topic. So let's discuss it. We have the Democratic presidential hopefuls who have gotten a whole bunch of people up in arms and very excited about the student loan debt being canceled. And I really feel like presidential hopefuls say a lot of things to get people rived up to get votes. Is the student loan debt problem a crisis? Yes, it is. But I'm going to give my opinion on why I don't think it's going to be canceled. Will it be reformed? Possibly. Will there be measures put in place to possibly help the low income? Possibly. And the middle income? Possibly. But to say it's totally going to be wiped out, people are going to get a notice in the mail saying canceled. Your student loan debt is canceled. I don't think that's going to happen, because let's just be clear, student loan debt is not going anywhere. It is here to stay. Will there be reform measures in place? Yes. Many states, I know here in New Jersey, a lot of the community colleges now are offering free education. They're saying other states are moving towards that direction as well. And we also have, I guess, four-year institutions that are doing that also. But at the end of the day, if we are now going in the direction of some institutions allowing individuals to go to school for free, what does that do to the institution in whole? Because you have to really look at the totality of the whole picture. Because another crisis along with student loan debt is that you have colleges that are closing. So you have colleges that are closing, you have students who have the student loan debt, um, that they cannot pay off or even manage. So we have a lot of dilemmas. But let me explain to you why none of those dilemmas are going to totally be wiped out. Because if you really want to tackle student loan debt, if you really want to tackle individuals still believing that in order for them to get somewhere in life, they need to have a college degree, even though that's not the case. But don't get me wrong, I don't want nobody, I do totally believe that there are some professions that we need higher learning. If you're a doctor, if you're working on me, yes, I want you to have higher learning. I don't want you to have watched a few YouTube videos and say that you're going to operate on me. The same way with dental work. If you're a dentist and I don't want you to do any dental work in my mouth and you haven't been to dental school. If you are an attorney, I don't want you to have not been to law school and you have not studied the law. So I totally believe that there are some professions where you do need a college degree. But the whole concept of, in order to just make ends meet, you need a college degree, then that is a bunch of baloney. Because that is the problem now. You have a whole bunch of people who bought into the idea. Don't get me wrong, I thought that was the idea too. I was told all my life, go to college, get a degree. If you want to make something out of yourself, if you want to make, if you want out of your particular situation, you do have to have a college degree. And don't get me wrong, I was blessed that when I did go to school and I came, and rest assured, I didn't have a lot of student loan debt. That's for starters. I probably wouldn't have had any if I had listened to my parents. The only student loan debt I have is 2 years of student loan debt, that when I went out of school, out of state. I went to school in Virginia. But when I came back to New Jersey, and at that time there were Pell Grants or whatever, and everything was based on your income. My parents didn't make much money. I went to school for free. So I didn't accumulate a lot of student loan debt. And so even after finishing school, I was blessed to have a career that really started me in, I would say, a good financial position, because I'm seeing jobs now. Now, I graduated out of college in '97. At that time, my first job was making $38,000 a year. That's in '97. Now, we all know inflation has taken place. The cost of living is higher. Where you live costs more, what you eat costs more, the clothes you wear costs more, to buy a car costs more, to attend college costs more. Everything costs more since 1997, because that's 20 plus years. But you still have jobs now that are paying individuals $38,000 a year, as a salary that people are raising families on. And here I was, a single woman in 1997, making that. Why do I say all that? I say all that to just explain to you the paradigm that was taught to me and have been taught to so many other people. Because think about it. If you went to school here in the U.S., from the time to kindergarten all the way to you finishing high school, you have been told that in order to make it in life, you have to go to school, you have to go to school, finish school, go to college. Then once you go to college, you have to have a good job. That narrative has not changed. And in 2019, it is still going on. Even though it's an outdated model, it was a model that was instituted during the industrial age. Why? It's because it was to get people conditioned to be able to work in the factories that were being built during the industrial time. Just yesterday, I was listening to a YouTube video. Check it out. It was with Robert Kiyosaki and the guy that does the London Reel. And of course, Robert Kiyosaki is promoting his newest book, and that is something that he's always talked about. But when you really study, how the wealthy make their money, how people who are financially inclined make their money. They do not make their money by working a job. But see, that's what I'm saying. That's the narrative that we are being taught. So if you want to do away with the student loan crisis, if you still want to do away with people still thinking that they have to go to college in order to make it, then you would have to change the whole narrative, overhaul. I mean, you would have to do a complete overhaul of the education system in the U.S. And unfortunately, you can't. I was looking at another video just the other day, and this one was with Damon Dash, and I've had this encounter too. And so the person is interviewing Damon Dash, and they proceed to ask him about how does he make money? Is he making money? Now, as much as we know that that is a private conversation, because you do not personally ask people, are they making money? But understand, when Robert Kiyosaki says that the rich don't work for money, working class and middle class people truly believe that the only way to get a check is you have to work for it. Do you really think that Oprah Winfrey wakes up every day and saying, I wonder how many hours of work I have to put in this week in order to get a check? Do you really think that Jeff Bezos wake every day up like, I wonder how many hours I have to work at Amazon in order to become a billionaire this year? And do you really think that Jay-Z or Beyonce or any high-profile person who has reached the pinnacle of whatever is wealth, of success, is money, do you really think that they are working a particular job in order to gain income. They're not. But unfortunately, that is a narrative that many of us are sold. And that's what I'm saying. That is why the student loan crisis is not going to go nowhere. It's because people still believe that narrative. They have no idea how to create your own check. They truly believe that you have to be told what to do. You have to go to a particular job. You have to work a particular amount of hours. The list goes on and on. And then at the end of the week, someone will give you a fair wage. My friend, that is not how wealthy people are doing it. That is a narrative that is being sold to you and will continue being sold to you. That is why you have a nation of people who have accumulated all this student loan debt and can't pay it back because they believe in that narrative. When Donald Trump a few weeks ago said that, if he doesn't become the president, the whole economy is going to crash. Now, I'm no person who predicts anything, but let's just say the coming crash does come. Let's say it mimics 2008. People lose jobs fold up, the list goes on and on. You know as well as I know, anyone who's watching this video, what's the first thing a person says? You either know someone or it's either you, that when you get out of work, what's the first thing a person says? I guess I'll go back to school. And since I'm out of work, I guess I'll go back to school and get that master's degree. I guess I'll go back to school and get that doctorate. So when economies crash or go down, more people go to school. And understand that this student loan overhaul that they're talking about does not replace advanced degrees. So they're saying that this overhaul only has to do with your undergraduate education. It doesn't have to do with advanced degrees. So that includes master's degrees, doctorates, you going to law school, you going to medical school, you going to dentistry school. The list goes on and on. So if a coming crash does come, what happens? You're going to have a nation of people who buy into the narrative, oh, well, I better go back to school. Let me go ahead and get that master's degree that I always wanted. Let me go back and get that doctor's degree that I always wanted. So that's why I said, if you want to tackle student loan debt, you have to tackle the narrative, the overhaul of the whole education system. There are people watching this video who will fight you because they truly believe that narrative is true. They have no idea. There's people watching this video right now. They have no idea the concept of you creating your own paycheck. And then when you try to teach them, they will fight you tooth and nail to tooth, that it does not work. Why? I've learned. I just told a girlfriend of mine this day, you have to be patient with those people. The people who will fight you on doing for self, creating your own paycheck, not having to depend on someone else to give you, a particular pay raise, to pay you what you're worth. You have to be patient with them. Why do you have to be patient with them? Because they have been ingrained for 13 years, from kindergarten to 12th grade, that is the only way. And until you become a student of the economy in this country and how things were created, you'll never understand. Because unfortunately, that was a narrative that was instituted to create a whole bunch of worker bees. Thank you, Jay. You have to be a student of this information. You have to. You have to be willing to learn. Because I know for certain, I am not sitting around waiting for a presidential hopeful to give me universal basic health care. Universal, what was that thing Andrew Yang was doing, that universal basic income? I'm not waiting for no $2,000 or $1,000. I know they're currently doing that in Alaska. I'm not waiting for somebody to overhaul the student loan, uh, debt crisis. And I know one will say, well, Lori, that's easy for you to say because you don't have that much debt. What about, the people who do have that? I get it. I'm sympathetic. But are we going to just sit around and just wait, for the government to do things? Or are we going to learn something new? Because, see, the sad thing is that people don't know what they don't know. But as long as you're at that place and know that, there's some things I just don't know, but I am willing to learn. That's a whole different thing, because now you're willing to learn a few things. Because like I said in a few videos before, the high income skill set is going nowhere. My son is 12 years old, soon to be 13. There are things that he does online where he is generating income and no one knows his age. Why? Because he is on online marketplaces where he's able to provide a service for people who need the work done. And at the end of the day, all they know is that they need the work done. They're not doing no interviewing. It's just that I need this done. I need a person to do it. I'm going to go to a website that has a marketplace of people who do the work. They select him. He does the work. He provides them with a finished product. They pay him. That is the direction that we are going into. Just the other day, I read an article about Meek Mill, the rapper, is now one of the owners of the store Lids. If you don't know what Lids is, that's that cap store. They say that they are closing locations and now they're going online. Things are changing, and that narrative that was taught to you, that was taught to your mother, that was taught to your grandmother, the next coming decade is an obsolete model. So still telling our kids, go to school, then go to college and get a good job, and hopefully you'll make it, when they know that whole narrative failed them. They know that narrative has failed them, but they still buy to that whole narrative. So that's my take on that student loan, crisis. Did I watch the whole debate? No. I watched a few sound bites, because once my livelihood is not depending on who becomes president. It's not. As long as I have access to, books, if I have I still have my own sane mind that I'm able to comprehend, I will do what's necessary to make myself be able to get through life. I saw something and I turned off. But I will say this, I'm doing a live webinar. You're welcome to join me. It's not a credit webinar. I know how to get out of credit. How to increase your credit score, how to get out of debt. It's really talking about what's going on currently and a way out. And it has to it's in line with learning a new high income skill. If you go to cashflow.yourmoneymentor.com, the links will be below here. You'll learn more about it, because that will put you on my email communication list. Once you get on the list, you'll learn more about it. But if you're just concerned, you're just, interested in learning how to get your credit score and learning more about credit, you can go to DIYcredithub.com. But I'm having the webinar tomorrow night. If you go to my email communication list, the links will be below this video. You'll learn more about it. But that's it. Leave your comments, share your thoughts, let me know what you think. And like I said, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Until the next video.